Sometimes we get a rock in our shoe that turns into a problem if we don't take care of it early on. Same in life, there are situations that come up that we see on the horizon, knowing that we should handle them, and it gets bigger with each passing day. Whether your role is as parent or child, sibling, or in a relationship, these types of problems have the potential to be curveballs in our life. On this week's episode of Mama We Made It with DJ Reg, we get into the messiness of not dealing with a problem at the small phase and what happens when it becomes big. Yo, good brother, what's happening?
What's happening, my man? How are you?
I'm good, man. This is my first collared shirt on Mama We Made It. I was traveling, and I'm out of position from a wardrobe standpoint, so I had to do the old man thing and reach into some dry cleaning just to be worthy to be on camera with you. So
now, is it a pastor color?
What's a pastor color? You mean a pastel color?
No, a pastor collar. Or do you actually have pins?
It's kind of a Nehru collar.
It is. Okay.
It's kind of a Nehru collar. I don't know if I call it a pastor collar, right?
Only the black and white. That's the only reason I would potentially call it.
Oh, you mean a pastor collar? Yeah.
If you buttoned it, would you look like the honorable? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
No, but I do look like I might be standing in front of the Taj Mahal if I buttoned it all the way up.
There you go.
Right. The Nehru, I think, is the former Indian Prime Minister, I believe, is who.
Okay. Going for that.
What's happening, man? Today we are talking about protracted problems, things that we saw the small problem on the horizon, and it kept growing, and now you're like, man, I got to deal with this, and I should have dealt with it earlier. That's what we're talking about.
We are. And a couple things come to mind for me. It's, and I really do first to nip things in the bud, as they say.
Okay.
And it becomes easier as time moves on, especially when you feel like you just don't have the luxury of time as much as you used to.
Okay.
But it's still not always easy. I think it's easier when it's within yourself. But if it's about, relationships with other people, situations that involve others, It requires their buy-in as well. And that can be tricky. But that's when you also find out how committed folks are to things, whether it's business, personal, whatever it might be.
Good morning, everybody. Let's do this real quick. Welcome to Mama We Made It with DJ and Reg. That's DJ. I'm Reg. We are into a conversation around how you deal with protracted problems and what that looks like. I got one for you. I'm gonna give you one in my life that I'm managing right now. Neighbors behind me, unannounced about 2 years ago, built an ADU in the backyard that blocks my view of the sky, and I don't love it. But I watched that thing get built for 2 years. I never said anything to them. Now when I sit in my backyard, I'm always hot every time I look up and see that structure. Recently, they've gotten a little dog. And the way our backyards are set up is my backyard abuts their backyard, and then our side neighbor kind of cuts up into the corner as well. So we've got like an enclosed 3 backyards all adjacent to each other. Side neighbor has a big dog who almost never barks, but if that dog barks, something's going on and we need to deal with it. This little dog in the back, man, is a yapper. Yap, 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 yap. Drives me crazy. Messes up my mood in the backyard. So I told my wife last night, my solution going forward is going to be to rename my Sonos speaker outside Black Noise. And that motherfucker's going to be on all the time. Every time I hear that dog, I'm turning my music on. It's just going to ride out. So yesterday, they got 4 hours of 70s R&B. 3 of which of those hours, I wasn't even home. The dog stopped yapping. Maybe he liked the music. Maybe they took him aside. I don't know. But it irks me and drives me crazy in ways that are irrational. But I watched that problem grow on the horizon and should have spoke on it much, much earlier. Do you have anything in your life that started out like that? Like a rock in your shoe and now you got, a cut up foot because you didn't deal with the rock in your shoe?
Yeah, I do. And it's funny, I was, thinking about it as you brought up the house situation. Mine also involves a home. I'll keep names out of it. I had a realtor recommended to me in the process of me selling a rental home that I have. So interviewed her, felt good, performs well when it comes to volume, selling homes, one of the top sellers in the region. But not necessarily where my home is priced, but she can move homes. Her strategy was an open house strategy. 3 or 4 open houses a week. You got a nice house in a great neighborhood, it's going to move. Problem is, as inventory increases, you need more of a marketing strategy. And you need a viable visit list. Like, folks need to be really trying to buy a house, not just, eating brownies walking through the neighborhood. So, right, let's go look at homes on Sunday. So for 5 months, man, I dealt with passive aggressive responses from the realtor. Yes, research tells us open houses work. I would walk into the house and it wasn't clean. I happened to be there when one of the open houses are being done by one of her associates. They didn't know much about the home when a potential buyer asked. So I made a really tough decision after 5 months to switch realtors. Got 2 offers in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Thank you. One was a cash offer. Now, back to persistent problems. I felt it, and I was sharing this with someone who's really close to me. Should I make the move? And we would talk about it. She was like, yeah, you need to make a move. As tough as my exterior can be at times, man, I got a heart. I'm like, yeah, but she's trying. Yeah, but yeah. Man, thousands and thousands of dollars later, because I don't have a tenant in there now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So for 5 months, basically paying that off. So I should have probably tackled it earlier, but I also made a commitment to her and her company. And it was me reneging on the contract as well. And she allowed that, but she also got a little slick in the tongue about it. Wanted to talk about charging me $11,000, all this kind of stuff. So my point, I wish I had gotten to that place a little sooner, but I eventually got there. And it feels like things are going to happen now in my favor. The closing date's supposed to be on the 10th. But bruh, literally less than 2 weeks, 2 offers. And it had to do with clientele. But I think the bigger question is, when I recognized there was a problem, I tried to extend some grace. I did extend some grace. It was costly. But that's a big one for me right now. And I have another property right now that's being rented out. But that was a tough call for me, man, because I would want someone, if I felt like I'm doing my job, to extend me grace. So that one was a tricky one for me. But I'm going to ask you a question about that structure that's now up in your neighbor's yard, because I'm about to go through something similar. They're going to build some solar panels across the way from me here.
Okay.
And it's going to be right in my sight line.
Yep.
And that's part of my morning rituals, to sit on that balcony and enjoy that sight line, man.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at freaking squirrels and solar panels.
Yeah.
In about 2 months. Is that over? Does it still bother you? Do you walk out and still feel a little twitchy?
Every day. Every day.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay.
Every day. And it bothers me because I remember my handyman was over here doing some painting and some fence repair while that house was being built. And, it was at a point in time where the structure had kind of been up, the foundation been poured, all the things. And he's like, man, you still got recourse. I'm like, nah, it's too late. He's like, it's not too late. And what I realized is that house faces a street behind my street that I never go down. It's a real small little private street. And I realized after the fact that that's where they posted their public notice of this construction. And had I ever at any point in time gone down there, I would have seen the public comment, public notice phase,
Got
and
it.
I could have weighed in. At this point in time, I'm not overly litigious like that, so I don't know if I've got any rights. It's on their property. Like in my own mind, it's on their property. They can do what they want to. That it violates my sight line. I don't know if I own the airspace in that way. Though if I had seen it during public commentary, I might have tried to, find a way in. So I've let it go in terms of the building is there. It's going to be there for the rest of my life. I have made peace with. I still have, a peaceful backyard that is my sanctuary, and by and large, I'm back there, when the weather's nice, all the time, and I'm not bothered, unnecessarily. But the dog, bruh, the dog is a constant reminder of the irksome nature of it all. And now that little dog is yapping like that, every time he's outside, I gotta find a way to reclaim my peace. Like, it's one thing to be back there chilling, but he yaps at everything. The squirrels run by, the birds run by, someone's talking as they walk by. He's just barking to bark. That's his get down. I don't have a problem with the dog so much as I need to find a way to reclaim the sonic sanctuary nature of the backyard. And so it bothers me. It's done, to answer your question. Yes, it bothers me. And it's probably a gentle reminder, of to be proactive when you see things in the early stages. If you got questions, go ask them. B, man, what can you really live with, right? And how do you hold on to your peace and not get so moved off your square by things that either you can't change or are outside of your control?
I think it's a great question. And, I deal with a yapping dog. So there's a park outside of my condo twice a day. Twice a day. And it irks me. I cannot imagine every time I'm sitting in my backyard, man. Like, I can't imagine that. So I feel for you, especially when that's your sanctuary, bro. One of the questions is fundamentally, and it's more rhetorical than anything, because I've asked myself, if this solar panel was outside and that dog yapped twice a day, would I still buy the spot that I'm in? Right? Would I buy it today knowing what I didn't, right? And I would, right? And you have a lovely home. Your home is like a sanctuary, man. It is. Would you still purchase?
Oh,
right?
well, yeah.
Right?
It's a great question. Yes, I would. Because what we fell in love with this house is all on the inside, and just the fortuitous nature of how we stumbled across it right when it got on the market. And we put an offer on this house an hour after seeing it. That's and dope. The bid got accepted 2 days later, and we avoided a bidding war, and it was a whole lot of things. So I'm gonna tell you that. Have I told you this story before?
I'm not sure.
It's random, but I'll tell it really, really quickly. Wife and I go to, of all things, an Elton John concert.
Okay. I mess with Elton John.
And at that point in time, we had just gotten engaged. We are looking at houses. At the same time, a parent and friend on one of my son's soccer teams is saying, hey, if you're looking over in that part of town, I've got a coworker who's been renovating his house, and he's going to sell it at some point in time. You should check it out. I was like, yeah. And that happened a couple months ago, and I forgot about it. We go to this Elton John concert. We're at this Elton John concert, and there is an overserved lady, white lady, in our aisle. And, we get up in the aisle, we dance, and we 70s babies. We love Elton John. We getting down, bending the jets, all the things.
Don't Go Breaking My Heart, all that.
Hey, Rocket Man, you know what it is, all the things. And so we're having a good time. And this overserved woman, I need to take a picture of y'all. We're like, fine, whatever. We have a good time. Next day, we're going to an open house for a particular house, not this house. And that open house started at 2. We're driving through. We see a sign for this house says open house at 1 o'clock. It's right before 1. We're like, oh, we'll check it out. We go in and we're mesmerized and we fall in love with this house right away. We come out. We call a realtor contact that we got from you, as I think about now. Mm-hmm. Anne Marie. So we call her, say, hey, we haven't met, but we found a property. She's like, it's a Sunday, but come meet me at the office and we can meet and we can talk. I know that neighborhood. I know that property. Let's talk. So we drive out there. We're sitting down. We're talking to her. In walks her realty partner. It's the same drunk white woman from the night before.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. They've
You
been
know
partners
exactly
for
what I'm talking
years.
about.
Yeah.
Long story made short, we put an offer in that day. We find out after the bid is accepted, like 2 days later, 3 days later, I'm at a soccer game. I'm talking to the parent. He's like, hey, did you ever check out that house? He's like, oh, man, I completely forgot about it. Remind me where it is again. He tells me the address. It's the house we just put the offer in on.
That's a crazy story.
And so how we got this house was fortuitous and feels divine timing relative to all that was going on in our life. So yeah, they can build a rocket ship in the backyard, and we ain't going nowhere. So
That
we
corner,
yes,
man. I got that corner. I mean,
it works
that's
for us.
beautiful, man.
I appreciate it, and it is a space for us of synchronicity, and so part of how to hold on to our peace. Would I buy it if all that was in the backyard? I would, because it doesn't change the story and how we got here and all the things. But it does. It did. The thing it has made me do is be much more diligent about studying real estate laws and
Yep.
what happens when there are conflicts and what rights do you have if a building that's not on your property impacts what could be your home's resale value. So that's the stuff I've spent more time studying, but I've also figured out that the way a lot of this stuff works best for me is to turn it into stories.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so I have a treatment. I got 1,000 different things I've written down that may one day see the light of day. But I got a story of a fictionalized retelling of how that building got built that, one day maybe I'll do something with. So oftentimes when I got a problem that grows like that, it ends up being the story of the problem where I find solace and peace and therapy, if you will. It's like retelling it now, right? Telling it to folks and how I deal with it and how I unpack it in and of itself is very therapeutic for me, if I'm being honest.
I wonder what you think about this. So those are neighbors. You probably know them to some extent, sometimes not at all, right?
Yep.
Or in passing.
Yep.
When it comes to someone who is close to you and you close to them, does that conversation become easier, more difficult when it's sort of a nagging, lingering scenario? I won't even call it an issue because it could just be something that bothers us.
It's harder. It's harder when it's family, when it's closer. Yeah, it's harder. It's harder. There are relationships that I have with people that I love dearly that as life goes on and we grow into our spaces, we don't have the same rhythm we used to have. And it is heartbreaking. At times it feels intractable. At times it feels like someone needs to be the first to move and initiate a conversation. And at the same time, there's a certain calm in the water that you have to make the decision. Can I live with the calm in the water while knowing that there are issues beneath the surface? Or do I surface the issues knowing that things will become turbulent, but on the other side of the storm, maybe it's a healthier situation? I'm constantly weighing that decision in a variety of relationships that I cherish. As I get older, I don't think I'm conflict avoidant. I am allowing a certain amount of calm on the surface of the waters to be its own solution, right? And try to be open and receptive if people want to talk. But because I have a tendency to be the initiator when things are a bit askew, I am leaning into or leaning back from that role more and more and letting things play out naturally. And I'm not sure that's a better strategy, but it is preserving some semblance of peace with relationships that might be a bit fragile?
It's a really tough call, Purse. I appreciate you sharing that because I think part of the challenge is distinguishing what is a preference for me, what is the lens through which I operate and maybe subconsciously expect others to operate with too. Or am I literally like, I'm looking out for you, like something's off. And I want to share that with you. This really doesn't have a whole lot to do with me, but this is my observation. And as a friend, someone close to you, etc., I feel compelled to share this with you.
Yep.
So, but it's not easy, man. But I'm really trying to get to a point where I do it out of love. Because I've had to be real about some things about myself with myself. And I always start there. And when you're with someone else, man, I think we owe that to them. And hopefully they feel like they owe that to us. But it's not easy, man. It's tough.
You know, it is tough. It makes me think about like this, you know, a personal theory of relativity, right? Like everything looks different from, you know, our various vantage points and perspective. And I try to be a really clear thinker and a honest and sincere communicator of what I see and share that with people and folks that's as honest as I know how to be. Honesty is not always called for in a situation. I'm not saying lying is. I'm saying sometimes silence is better than speaking truth into a space, depending on people's perspective, right? And so I do have, and it varies, right? Like between me and my sons, for example, there are situations that a parent's gaze and a child's gaze, and I don't mean child, but you know, simply the child of the parent, can see things really, really differently. And both can be true, right? Like how I see things through a lens of a pattern of behavior from birth is different than how they see things as they've grown into themselves and observed me their entire life. And you can wrestle with perspective. And I'm trying, as I get older, to be honest that whether it's, you know, sibling perspectives, whether it's parent-child perspectives, whether it's boss-employee perspective, making space for a theory of relativity in my personal life that says we both are right here. I don't have the higher ground. Maybe in some situations I'm older and I've got a different perspective, but I don't have the definitive perspective, particularly as my kids are, you know, both effectively adults. I'm no longer do what I say. It's much more, here's my advice and counsel, do with it what you will. And that is an interesting season in my life as I look at a lot of my relationships through the lens of not just trying to see it from their perspective, but acknowledging that both of our perspectives are necessary to complete the picture.
Yeah.
And making space for that.
Yeah. And I think what compounds all of this, at least for me, Reg, is knowing that the luxury of time does not exist anymore. Right? 20s, 30s, whatever, 40s, it's like, yeah, this will probably solve itself. It's probably not going to solve itself. And we don't know how much more time we have to solve it. Right? Not to sound morbid, et cetera, but the visits are less frequent. I don't have kids, but I imagine not knowing, you know, your kids will probably never live in the house again.
Don't say that, man. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm just saying, man, right? Right? It's like, so we don't have that luxury, man, not to solve these issues and let them linger as it relates to kids. But just in general, man, I really appreciate you sharing it because it's difficult. It's more difficult when it's people we love and care about.
Yes.
And I think, you know, part of what I try to do is make it easier to approach me about some things that might be of concern for someone else as it relates to me.
That's an interesting one because I recognize as much as I feel like I'm open and receptive, I don't think people perceive me as the most approachable dude in the building, particularly people close to me. And I say that to say that I get the sense that there's a certain patina that I give off that when it's tricky, when it's complicated, when there's potential of conflict on a topic, people are hesitant to engage with me. And I don't know what that's about.
We both suffer from that. I think I do know what it's about with us because we are steadfast and we are strong in our opinions. Not that we're mouthing that off on a daily basis, but we tend to talk about shit we know about. So for someone to approach us with what may be a contrarian point of view, etc., they know what they're facing. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but they know what they're up for. Because we can probably justify this shit that's going on in our lives.
I've tried to drop my guard as low as I can, man. Like, I don't know how else to, other than having office hours, I will hope that folk that, and I'm talking about people like who rock with me.
Yeah, exactly. Office hours 10 to 10:30 a.m. I mean,
I need cats in my life and people in my life who are gonna pull my coattail, right? Pull my shirt tail. I'm like, hey man, your slip is showing, so to speak. And so I do worry as I get older and time is a more precious commodity that I have, ensuring that I got people in my life who will tell me what time it is always.
And people that you will ask.
And people that I will ask.
Right.
People that I will ask.
Right. And then they'll know, okay, brother really wants to hear that. DJ really wants to hear that. And I hope I've gotten a little better at asking. This is how I saw that. Was I a little? Yeah, you could have. Right. And it's okay. It doesn't mark us for life, right? We're not scarred for life because we. So I think part of it is also the willingness to ask the question, hey, how did I come off? How am I being perceived? To the extent that we care.
Yeah.
To the extent that we care. But yeah man, it's tricky. It's tricky, but always appreciate the dialogue, man. We learn, love, live, and it's a journey, man. All we can do is get better.
All we can do is get better. All we can do is get better. That's DJ. I'm Reg. This is Mama We Made It with DJ and Reg. All we can do is get better. What we need you to do is check us out on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, on Amazon, wherever you get your favorite podcast. Let us know what you think of the show. Tell a friend, subscribe. We hope that this is of interest to the folk because it's great therapy for us and we enjoy doing it once a week on Wednesdays. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Mama, baby.